So I'm wondering if Bran is not, at least part of the time, including when he rips the intruder apart and saves them both, if that's not actually Bran in some... Mind blown again!
Oh my god, guys.
Yeah. See...
I don't catch this shit when I read. And
I've
read it
this
twice.
Is my third time through this book.
I don't see it that way, though.
So it's just starting to come to me. No, I have zero evidence that he's actually in Summer at this point.
Yeah, that he's doing that.
I know that he does take control of Summer when he's unconscious later on in the books. Warning, the following show will spoil the hell out of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire books and the TV show A Game of Thrones. Also, you're probably going to find a fuck ton of bad language. The explicit tag is there for a reason.
Death and boobies, 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 death and boobies.
Welcome back to the Ironwood Network Book Club. I am your host, Maester Ironwood, here with Lady Wyvern and Widow Wolfsbane. How are you ladies doing on this cold fucking evening?
Wishing I was places where danger noodles existed instead of where air hurts my face.
Yeah, I think that's an inside joke that nobody else knows about.
Danger noodles are really, really long snakes.
Yeah, and
just any snake.
Rather not have them around.
No, I like danger noodles.
I'd rather be where the cold hurts my face, but I'm wearing 5 shirts and I'm still cold.
If that's an anaconda, I don't want none.
Your buns don't want none?
Just in general,
my buns
don't want none at all. No, thank you.
I'll take the danger noodle, please, over the cold air. Nope. I'll even take like a... I don't know. I don't remember what they used to call crocodiles in those fancy animal terms.
No, I can shut myself in from the cold and turn the fucking heat up. So
I don't know. Your heat's up pretty high right now, and I'm still fucking cold.
Well, that's you.
I know I'm always cold.
I am comfortable. By the time we're done recording, I will not be comfortable. However,
I know
it'll be a little chilly.
Cold.
That's fair.
I'm gonna have to pre-start my car at some point.
That's fine. You know, it's a cold evening. We're discussing another Winterfell chapter. So it's okay.
Fucking Winterfell.
So it's fitting.
So it's fitting that we're in the frigid north, the far reaches of the north here.
I mean, we kind of are in where the United States are. We kind of are in Winterfell almost.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Maine would be the wall.
Pretty close to the wall.
Yeah, Maine would literally be the wall.
Maine would be the wall.
Upstate New York, we're like
we're basically Winterfell. Binghamton's Winterfell.
Area. Anyway, we are here tonight to discuss Catelyn Chapter 3.
Catelyn fucking Tully.
More Catelyn Tully.
Is she dead yet?
Who starts off the chapter and ends the chapter by basically Catelyning more than Catelyn has ever Catelyned, and proving that, at least in the beginning of the chapter, she is just as useless, if not more useless, than her brother Edmure.
Yep.
Which is a pretty tall order to accomplish.
Yes, it is.
I really think.
She filled some big shoes doing that.
I think overall she was probably more useful. She did have more kids than Edmure did. Just saying.
I guess.
That's about it.
But like all of them died.
That's true.
Like
half of them died.
Only one of them is dead so far.
2. In the
books?
No, not in the books. Well, in the show, 2 of them.
Well, this isn't the Game of Thrones TV podcast.
I know.
This is the Song of Ice and Fire Book Club podcast.
And I still have trouble getting the 2 separate.
So she's only one of her children is dead, as it stands currently at the end of the 5 books that we have.
That's not too bad then.
Only Robb.
That's not too bad.
The others are still assumed alive.
The others.
We assume Rickon is still alive.
Yes.
Davos is headed to Skagos to look for him. We assume he's alive.
Well, fuck Rickon. He's useless anyway.
He's a child.
In the TV show, he's useless. We don't know if he's useless in the book yet.
He is useless in the TV show.
All right. So, Widow Wolfsbane, you have decided to give us a quick rundown synopsis of Catelyn's adventures in the Towers of Winterfell.
Yep. So
in this chapter. So, why don't you go ahead and do that for us?
So, in this chapter, we find Catelyn Tully has decided that she's now Catelyn Tully, PI. And so she's... First of all, it starts off with her being so sleep-deprived and so grief-stricken that she just can't handle her shit anymore. She's snapping at everybody. She tells Maester Lewin, basically, go fuck yourself.
Pretty much since
You're looking for a new master of horse, and my son's laying here in bed dying and
she
crippled.
hasn't left Bran's side in
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
8 days, I thought.
Been, whatever, 8 days, 1,000 years.
8 days gone.
Well, Ned and the girls have been gone for 8
days, but they were there for the first 4 or 5 days.
Rob says
That's
that,
right.
that she didn't even go out to the gate to see them when they left.
Yeah.
Which means she'd been shut in that room before those 8 days.
Yeah.
Pretty much since they brought him in.
Yeah, they were they were there for 4 or 5 days before they left.
Right, and then she's
after he fell.
Winterfell fall down around her.
So it's been a fortnight.
It has been a fortnight.
It's been a good fortnight since she's left the room, yes.
Yep.
Shout out to our British listeners.
She's got a smell.
Fortnights.
She's got to smell so bad.
Oh, right. God, I'm sure she does. I'm sure she does.
I don't know how she's handling it either, because it's not like it's the warmest room in the tower. That's hers. So how is she handling the cold?
Oh, well, she's keeping the room... So, and as we see a little bit later in the chapter, she's keeping the room warm because the shutter's closed, so she doesn't have to hear the wolves howling. Yeah. And so that way Bran stays warm herself, so she probably has a good fire being stoked. Yeah. She's trying to smother him in stifling hot temperatures. And so she freaks out on Lewin, and then Robb comes in, and Robb's like, Mom, calm your tits. Like, this is unacceptable. You're being mean to Maester Lewin. And she's like, fuck Maester Lewin. He's being a douche. And so he starts trying to get her to calm down. He gets Maester Lewin to leave for a little while. And then he basically kind of tries to rock her to bed, like, come on, sleep the fuck. Like, go to bed, you dumb bitch.
He pisses her off by opening the window.
He does. He pisses her off, opens the window. And then
like
she
father,
starts,
like son.
Yeah, so then she starts like screaming, like, close the window, make them shut up. And then she falls to the ground, having a mental breakdown.
Make who shut up?
The wolves. The wolves are out there.
Mention.
Yeah, well, we're going to go over that. This is a synopsis. This is just a run over.
Whatever them you want.
Whatever them you want. She wants
Cersei.
She wants Cersei and Jaime to stop being so loud in the tower. Over there fucking. That's what she wants.
Yeah. Catelyn Tully of the great mind leap in this chapter. I don't know where she's getting some of her.
She just fucking like made some theories and like immediately
100% correct.
Yeah, but she just made them out of thin air and was like, this is what's happening. This is exactly it. And we're like, you know what? You're pretty spot on here, but we're not going to tell you that. So Robb starts trying to get her to go sleep in the little tiny bed she's got for herself in the corner so she doesn't have to leave him, that she evidently has not been using to sleep in. And then Robb's like, oh no, shit's happening. The library's on fire. And so he runs the fuck out of there, and Catelyn's just like, oh god, it's on fire, but it's okay, because it's the wrong tower, so my son's gonna be perfectly fine. And then just sits there.
Burning the library.
I know. That was painful for me, too. It's sacrilegious.
Hundreds of ancient texts.
Yeah. Especially since Tyrion brought a couple of them with him, too. So there's a couple.
Now has like 3 loners.
Yeah, it has 3 loners left over. Yeah. So, and then this lovely horse-shite smelling dude just kind of happens to come out of nowhere, and he's like, you're not supposed to be here. And just says that a couple of times, gets into a tuffle with Catelyn Tully, and puts a knife to her throat. Well, tries to, but then she, like, grabs the blade with her fingers and starts cutting through her fingers.
Kind of badass cat.
This is a badass mom part.
Badass Catelyn.
This is probably the only badass thing she's ever done.
Fighting pretty good for a fish.
Care what kind of person you are.
She's a fish.
If someone's got a knife to your throat, you're going to try and fight it off.
Especially because your son's going to... Yeah, and she knows her son's going to try to be murdered here at this point because she's crazy, and that's the first thing that she's obviously going to think of because that's all she's been thinking of. So she fights this guy off hardcore, falls to the ground, her fingers are all like cut open, and later the maester says it's basically down to the bone, which means that
the tendons are slashed.
Yeah, which to me says the tendons are been cut, which means she now no longer has use of either of her 8 fingers on those hands.
Yeah, which maybe is why she doesn't want to ride a horse to Winterfell and she wants to take a boat.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then, so she does that whole shit, and then she falls to the ground, and she's like, oh no, my son! And then, out of nowhere...
A shadow
comes in. She hears, like, a light little growling sound, and then she hears some gurgling and some growling and stuff, and the wolf that doesn't have a name yet, the dire wolf without a name, because Bran never named his wolf.
Shadows.
Shadows are dangerous.
I look out for shadows in this story. There's lots of shadows.
Ooh. Those are your little details you were telling me about.
Shadows,
the shadows
and more shadows.
All the shadows.
The others are shadows, white and black shadows.
Oh, I'm a little. My things here a little
ahead of yourself.
Yeah, my thing got ahead of itself. So she's sitting there, and she's just like, that's good. I don't know. The wolf decided that he's going to rip this guy's throat out. And
no-name wolf tears him apart.
Yeah, no-name direwolf rips this guy's throat out, and then the guy's just laying there in a little pool of blood that's kind of collecting around him, and then he just jumps up, he licks Catelyn, Catelyn says thank you to the wolf. The first time she said a nice thing to any of them ever.
Now, very convenient that I'm gonna throw a tinfoil out here.
Tinfoil.
Very convenient that
tinfoil hat.
The assassin was killed in a way that he could never talk.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Nobody can ask him questions.
I know. That's where she gets her fucking theories from. She heard the voices before she, passed out or whatever. I don't know. She's fucking crazy.
Are you serious right now?
No, I'm not.
He said tinfoil hat before this.
Shut up, Maester.
Oh my goodness. So
anyway,
the wolf licks her fingers clean of her blood because
it didn't bite any off.
Yeah, I would have probably taken a nibble. I mean, he's a good pup, I guess.
You would have taken a nibble?
I mean, yeah, she's got bloody fucking fingers and he just ripped a guy's throat out. If I was that wolf, I'd be like, listen, I got some more chicken fingers now. Or fish fingers, rather.
Raised well.
Now, I have a question about this.
What?
We'll discuss it in detail when we get after the synopsis, but I have a question related specifically to the wolf and the wolf's actions.
Well, then why don't you wait?
I will. I'm just pointing at it.
He's mentioning that he's got that there.
Just everybody keep it in their minds.
We're putting a pin on it and putting it on the board. There we go. Pink. And then that was an actual physical action that both of us just did too, by the way. So then the wolf goes, sits on Bran's next to his lap or whatever, or next to his broken little body and lays down, and Catelyn lets him stay there and doesn't want him to leave, and then she ends up passing out. She wakes up and then realizes that the servants are acting kind of weird around her, and she realizes that she remembers everything now and that she's been the biggest cunt of all cunts in cuntdom, and that's why they're being kind of weird because they don't want to get yelled at by her. And so she gets...
for doing their jobs.
Yeah, for doing their jobs. And then she's like, I'm going to show them how strong a Tully of River Run can be, because she's not a Stark, everybody. She's not a Stark.
No, she's a Tully.
No, she's not. She's like that meme we shared in our Facebook
She's a fucking fish.
She's a fucking fish.
Mom's a fish.
Mom's a fish. She doesn't count. It's true. She's a fucking bitch. And a fish. So, she's a bitch of a fish.
She's a bish.
A bish. I like it. We're going with it. So she does that, they start talking about it, and then she's like, oh no, all of you have to swear some fealty shit to me right now, because I've got some intense shit that I'm going to throw down, and blah blah blah.
Promise
and
you won't say anything.
Yeah, everyone's got to promise that they won't say anything ever, so of course everyone says that they promise, except for Rob, who just kind of is like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then she starts throwing some accusations around. She starts throwing some shit on the walls and sees what sticks.
That shit'll get her killed.
Yeah, exactly. A bunch of shit that'll get her killed.
Dun dun dun.
In all of her grief and craziness.
Spoilers!
Yeah, and then... What do we have here? We got some oats going. Here's the oats going down. Some Lannister ambition. And then Rob, being a little too cocksure of himself, rips his sword out for no goddamn reason.
He's 14.
For which Sir Roderick's like,
dude,
do not take your sword out unless you intend to use it, you little piece of shit.
Pretty much.
Like Lord of Winterfell, and Sir Roderick's like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Exactly. Yes.
It's a little kid with the one sword going, I'm guard.
Oh, yeah.
Arm in the air and just swinging his little sword.
Ariel just comes up and stabs him in the back.
Yep. Yeah. Thea pretty much does do that a little bit later, but right there. And then they start going through all this stuff, and this is where Catelyn gets real CSI, PI shit going on here, where she's like, ooh, you know what? It was the Lannisters. They sent this guy to kill my son, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and it was...
Because I heard through the grapevine that Jaime didn't go on the hunt.
Yeah.
So therefore, obviously, Jaime was in the broken tower fucking Cersei and threw Bran out the window.
I'm pretty sure it didn't get that far.
How the fuck did she get anywhere near any of this?
Yeah, where in the hell did she decide that this is exactly... I mean, she had 2 full fucking weeks to think about it, I suppose, but at the same time...
She knows 2 things. She knows Jaime didn't actually go on the hunt, and she knows that...
She said she heard.
She heard.
She doesn't know for sure.
Okay, and she knows that Bran never falls.
Except that she's always worried about Bran falling.
She's always said Bran's gonna fall.
But she also knows he never falls.
Until he does.
Right.
Which she has said.
Yeah, she's literally said herself before. She goes, yeah, you've never fallen until you fall.
Until you fall.
Right.
And now he's fell, and now she's like, no, he's never fallen. Someone pushed him.
Fall, except that I had everybody in the fucking castle and the whole north try to talk him out of climbing the walls because eventually he's going to fall.
Okay, so now you've got me thinking way deeper into this chapter than I could get myself in earlier.
Good.
That's the point, man.
Yeah, but why couldn't you help me with this earlier?
That's why we do the podcast, to open minds.
So you need to open my mind before we get
it's fun
behind
to do
the
it.
mics.
It's fun to do it on the show.
Oh yeah, because you guys
we like to blow your mind on the show.
Yeah.
All
right.
This is why we also need video, because then we can see your face, like we can see the moment where it clicks.
Nobody wants to see this face.
I want to see your face all the
you're looking
time.
right at it now,
I
honey.
am. I love your face.
When we get the new setup.
When we get the new setup, the first thing anyone's gonna want to see is Widow's bust.
Busty shirt. I'm gonna have to make sure I bring the right attire.
So wear wife beaters the entire time.
I mean, I got plenty of them. I got plenty of tank tops and wife beaters and spaghetti straps and.
Don't let my mother hear you call them wife beaters.
Nah.
Don't listen to the show.
Pretty much. I don't think she would. She'd hear the explicit warning and then she'd hear the death and boobies and she'd be out.
She'd be done. Yep.
Yeah. She'd be like, and I'm okay. I'm over this now.
My daughters will do what they want to do.
Yep.
So then Catelyn decides that it's time for
revenge.
That's when she decides that she's gonna have to travel down to go get to King's Landing before Ned does, and the fastest way to do that is going to be to cut across the side, get onto some boats, and go downward. And like you said, that's the reason why she probably wants to not ride so far, is because now that all of her fucking tendons are cut off.
Well,
she wants to get
according to
there before
Catelyn.
Ned.
Exactly.
It's strange to me that she wants to get there before Ned, because then she has to wait around until Ned gets there.
Yeah, why would she want to get there before Ned?
I think one of the reasons is because they don't want someone to see them on the King's Road and then ride ahead of them and let them tell the Lannisters. I think she's at the point in her mind.
Is it that Littlefinger is in King's Landing?
Oh, I see. You're thinking that there's going to be some of the slot B gets joint A inside. And what?
Littlefinger's in love with Catelyn.
It doesn't mean Catelyn's in love with Littlefinger.
Maybe.
That was her little confidant when she was a kid.
Here's the thing.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's just creepy.
She grew up with Littlefinger.
Yeah.
And then was betrothed to Brandon, who she actually liked.
Yeah.
Because he was fun and exciting.
Right.
But then she has to marry Ned, who's not fun and exciting.
Who's kind of like a two-pump jump in the sack.
Who do you think she would rather have at that point? The guy who she kind of liked and grew up with, or Brandon's brother Ned? Boring, old, solemn, melancholy face Ned.
I'd rather have Ned, but that's just me. Not that Ned's my type, but Littlefinger's not my type either.
We'll see. But she's awful determined to get to King's Landing
before Ned does.
And when she gets there, she knows that Littlefinger is going to find her and comfort her because when his people come to get her, she doesn't say, "Oh, he knows I'm here." She says, "Oh, so soon."
Right.
I mean, she didn't have as much time to bang as she wanted.
Anticipating Littlefinger coming to see her.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. She says, "Oh, so soon." So
interesting.
Put it on my tinfoil.
Yeah, you keep that tinfoil.
His conspiracy
over
theories.
there.
I'm gonna make you a tinfoil hat one day.
We're just gonna make a shelf.
I'm gonna get a calendar all podcast in that.
Oh my goodness, it'll be perfect. They have one. They have plenty.
All right, so we've got Catelyn headed to King's Landing. That's where the chapter leaves off.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about how shitty of a person Catelyn is in the beginning of this chapter.
Oh.
All she's done for 2 weeks is sit next to Bran.
Okay,
my gods.
Before we start bitching about how much time she spent next to this child in bed.
I don't even care how much time she spent there.
Well, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Okay. Just think about it.
Girl, you tell me.
You go, girl. Put it down.
Okay.
Lay some shit down for us.
Any parent who had to deal with something like this going on with their child would spend as much time as they could sitting with their child.
Would they completely neglect all of their other children?
Some people do.
Yeah, the shitty ones.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you can say.
Shitty people will do it, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not even going to fight with you right now.
But it's true, though. If
you're right, there are shitty parents that will completely ignore their other children.
Yeah.
But there are other parents who can't focus on their other children. One, because their other children are probably at home with their dad, thousands of miles away, kind of like...
She has Rickon.
Or
Rickon's like 2.5.
Rickon is 3 years old, right there in the same castle as her. Rob is 14, trying to run the entire thing because she's not doing anything.
And trying to take care of Rickon because Rob literally says Rickon is attached to his, like, crying because he wants his mom.
His mom won't even talk to him.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, your mother has 6 children, and I guarantee if one of you were to get injured or hurt or something, she would not ignore, like, say you ended up in the hospital because you're the oldest.
Right.
Your mother would not ignore your youngest sibling solely for the fact that you're in the hospital. Like, she would be in the hospital.
My mom would feel guilty leaving my bedside. Absolutely.
She would feel guilty, but she would do it.
She would do it to take care of other kids.
She would do it to take the younger ones to school and then to, like, make sure they have food and to, like, she would know that you have someone to take care of you.
The house is taken care of and not falling apart.
Yes, I am aware of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But, like, she
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Don't condone her for being a grieving mother. Not every mother reacts the same way. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying she had 2 weeks.
You guys can fight with me over...
I have no problem with her grieving for Bran.
Yeah.
No problem whatsoever. I have no problem with her spending every night there.
But she's spending too much
or
time
as much
grieving.
time as she can. But she has other things that must be done. She has 2 other kids there at the castle.
And sometimes they have to have a mental breakdown before they realize that they have to get back to the way life was.
I'm just saying it didn't have to take like 12 to 14 days before she realized that she needed to, fucking sleep.
Remember, we can't just take this in a vacuum. This is more shit done by Catelyn Tully, who all she does is shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like some, like, fantastic, amazing person who then this happens to, and this is what they do for 14 days until they break out of it. This is piece of shit Catelyn Tully.
Ned, you need to go to King's Landing.
More piece of shit stuff.
Okay, so if it wasn't Catelyn Tully, you wouldn't have anything to say about how much time she
No,
was
I would say
spending
that I would say they probably had a nervous breakdown and whatever. But this is just more Catelyn Tully being Catelyn Tully.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she's
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yes, you did.
No, I really didn't.
You had something really important to say. I get it.
I just
I was counteracting your point.
I don't think it should have taken as many days as it took for her to, like, Rickon's fucking 3, and for 2 weeks, she did not even have contact, didn't pick him up, didn't give him a hug, didn't give him a kiss on the forehead.
Some people it takes weeks or months, sometimes even years.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, every grieving parent does it differently, and it takes longer or less time. Everyone grieves differently. And yes, it's gonna suck. But just don't condone her for being a grieving mother. Yes, I hate Catelyn as much as you guys do. Just don't condone her for being the grieving mother. Whatever. Condemn her for the other shit, not for being a grieving mother.
Oh well, I'm condemning her for everything, and I've got a scale in my head of really good mom of the year, does really great shit, and then I've got the other side, kids being taken by CPS, crack whore, meth head kind of mom. And she's not even halfway on the scale. She's much more closer to the crackhead, meth head, CPS kind of people. She's over there.
Okay.
No,
she's always been over there.
I don't condemn the grieving for Bran. I condemn the fact that that's all she's doing. She's letting her other children... She doesn't even know what's going on with them.
No.
Yeah.
She's barely aware that Rickon exists.
She's barely aware of who's even in and out of the room anymore because she hasn't slept in so long. She's probably having micros. Yeah, she's sleep deprived that she's literally, her brain cannot function.
So, she's fried.
At this point, she's useless.
Yeah. She's more useless than normal.
Anybody would be useless.
So.
Which is, there's a bed in the room. Like, she specifically had them put a bed in the sick room for her so she could sleep while Bran was right there in case he woke up and still won't use it.
Yeah. But anyway.
Because she's an idiot.
Maester Ironwood comes in.
Maester Ironwood's like, hey, we have some really, really, really important matters of state that you have to attend to because you're the lady of the castle, your husband's gone. Out. Yeah, and she's like, my son's crippled, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so she's not going to deal with that shit. So
fucking hate her.
So Rob decides to cowboy up, walks in, says, yep, I'll take care of it tomorrow, Maester Ironwood. We'll do that.
Yep, Rob's got this shit.
So
lock and drop.
That'll be handled.
Rob's grown up real quick in the last 2 weeks.
No
He's
choice.
had to. His mom's piece of shit.
He's got to raise his brother and run Winterfell because his mom's being a lazy piece of shit.
She's literally...
His mother's grieving.
You say tomato, I say tomato.
Piece of shit and grieving are two completely different things.
I don't know, because I was just thinking that same thing, and I'm like, I don't know, grieving, piece of shit, same thing.
Okay, now it's probably like potato, tomato, because they're two completely different things.
I'm good with tomato, potato. Like...
They're two completely different things.
That's fine, okay. So then...
Thank you.
Yeah, and then, so we get the attack. And strange, we get a cool attack by some guy who
smells like horse shit.
Who smells like horse shit. We later learn how Ken was living in the stables because Catelyn didn't pick a new fucking stable master.
So the
only person out there was Hodor.
Hodoring around.
Know anything about
Hodor's probably seeing this guy.
Hodor.
He's like Hodor.
Trying to tell me there's like an invader in the stables. Like Hodor.
I didn't think he would be that. I feel like he'd be like Hodor. He's
Hodor for you.
Hodor for you. Food. Hodor drink. Hodor food. Hodor want a blanket.
But Catelyn, she's able to fight him off, which is pretty badass. I will admit.
She does do badass mom mode.
Mama Bear comes out and she's able to fight off the guy.
Yep, that adrenaline.
And then the
direwolf. That she is.
And then the direwolf comes in to save the day.
Yes.
And rips the guy's throat out. Now this is where I have a question.
Yes. Question out.
We know later on.
Oh wait.
We learn later on. What?
I forgot something that was really important to me that I have highlighted in here. So before the
about the weather.
No. So before
That's a callback joke to a couple episodes ago.
Yes, it is. No, it has to do with Catelyn and Robb, and so at the one part where Robb is getting like really fed up, like he's like you could tell that he's about to have his own breakdown. Like
his mom Catelyn Tully.
Yeah, and like he's got tears forming in his eyes, like he's starting to have his own little breakdown. He's trying to keep his shit together, and Catelyn's like, "Oh my god, I just realized my poor son is only 14, and I'm making him do all the stuff that I can barely handle myself when I'm fully rested."
But you know what? I don't care.
No, yeah, and then so it says right here because she had picked up Bran's poor hand or whatever and interlaced her fingers with Bran's like lifeless warm hand because he's got no conscious thought of being able to
her hand and
she
couldn't get up and go do anything.
Yeah, she couldn't hug Robb because Bran was holding her hand. And I'm like, no!
I did catch that.
No! You dumb cunt! You can't just ignore Robb because Bran's holding your hand. He's unconscious, you dumb cunt!
You put Bran's hand in your hand.
Well,
yes!
The other thing she says in this chapter, if only Ned she pleaded with Ned not to go to King's Landing.
Yes!
Now, mind you, in Catelyn's previous POV chapter, one chapter Catelyn ago,
she forced him to.
All she did was browbeat him into fucking going south to goddamn King's Landing.
Yes, and now she's like, I can't believe he fucking left
us.
Why
would he fucking go to King's Landing? He chose to go.
He chose to leave his family.
Why would he go? Oh my god.
Oh my god. She chooses not to stand up and hug her 14-year-old son who's about to break apart and fall into tears.
Can we still hate Catelyn Tully?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never stopped hating her. I just said, don't hate her for being a grieving mother.
I hate her for being a grieving mother because she's choosing to sit next to her unconscious child and hold his hand instead of hug her conscious child who's about to break down and have his own panic attack.
Yeah. Okay, so we've established...
I'm condemning her for that one.
Catelyn Tully, hypocritical bitch.
Yes.
On top of everything else.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, so now we can go into the
now
the
I
attack.
I have a question about the wolf.
Yes.
Summer.
So we know it's Summer. That's what Bran eventually names it. It's Summer.
But there's no name for it right now.
Right. And we know eventually that Bran is able to, while he's unconscious, take control of Summer.
Mm-hmm.
And basically...
So you want to know...
I'm wondering if Bran is attacking the intruder and saving Catelyn and himself through Summer at this point.
I don't know.
I don't think he would lick his mom's fingers like that.
He wouldn't clean his mom in the only way he possibly could.
He wouldn't.
Because remember,
he wouldn't eat his mother.
Bran's mind. It's Bran's mind plus the wolf.
Yeah.
So he's got the wolf instincts plus his own mind.
Okay.
So he's tending to his mother's wounds.
Wolves will clean each other's wounds.
They will. But I'm thinking of it as like just a straight like kid mindset where he didn't realize that the two people wrestling.
Well, I don't know because Well, we're not that far in the book yet, but the first time we see him warging, or whatever
right, but that's only because that's after he wakes up.
Yeah.
But it always happens when he's dreaming. So when he's unconscious is when he's in summer.
So do you think he's been howling the whole time, trying to let his mom know he's okay, he's there?
I'm wondering if he's... Because
Summer doesn't howl all the time. It's only certain times. Like
it's when
they
the
always
window's
mention it.
open.
Right. Yeah.
And she can hear them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if Bran is not, at least part of the time, including when he rips the intruder apart and saves them both, if that's not actually Bran in some... Mind blown again!
Oh my
yes!
God, guys.
Yeah. See...
I don't catch this shit when I read. And
I've
read it
this
twice.
Is my third time through this book.
I don't see it that way though.
It's just starting to come to me. No, I have zero evidence that he's actually in Summer at this point.
Yeah, that he's doing that.
I know that he does take control of Summer when he's unconscious later on in the books. Undoubtable fact.
But that also would explain how the wolf got to... It would also kind of, to me, I guess it would also explain how the wolf got from down there to up in the room. And...
Knew what was going on.
Yeah, knew what was going on enough to be able... Because, like, the wolf's not been in the room this entire time. He's been stuck outside. Yes. Like, Catelyn has made him stay outside.
But he found his way upstairs...
To that specific six-room tower.
Yeah, at that exact specific time.
Yeah. Right, when all the commotion was going on in a different tower.
Right.
Yeah.
So all the other dogs
Everyone's running one way.
All the dogs were probably down by the fire because that's where they were all howling.
So, like, does Bran's unconscious hear his mother screaming and struggling with the intruder, and boom, warg Summer.
Yeah, like instinct warging.
And bring Summer up.
Yeah.
Huh.
See, and I would have, until I thought about that specific thing, just this moment of like, well, that explains how the wolf would have gotten upstairs. Before that specific thought, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it doesn't really make any sense. And then I'm like, wait a minute, but then how else will the wolf get upstairs?
Right.
Because, I mean, he does, like,
the smell
he doesn't walk around.
Not going to be enough if they've never.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 2 weeks since that kid has been brought through those hallways.
Time to sniff around
if he just immediately followed this stranger up, he would have been in right after him.
Yeah,
there wouldn't have been like a multiple minute struggle with Catelyn.
Right,
before the wolf came into the room.
Yeah,
right.
Which leads me to believe that Summer didn't come until something told her or him
that he had to be up there.
That something was wrong.
Yeah,
and in my mind, that can only be the super powerful warg in that room.
The
jumping into her mind, or into his mind, and bringing him up there.
Summer's totally a girl name, by the way, which is
I know,
which is why you keep doing that.
I keep getting
it totally
confused.
is.
Yeah,
we had a document named Sammy today, and it was a Samoyed. We had to feel under the dog to see if it was a boy or a girl, because they're only white, and it's so fluffy you can't just like look under there and know. And we didn't have any paperwork right next to us at the exact moment. We had to go catch a pee sample.
Here,
so we're like,
touch you.
Yeah, so we're like, do we put the pee sample between the back legs or under the side of the dog? Like, so we had to feel around, see what was going on down there. So like, I totally understand. Like, we're like, Sammy, like you can't just like, Summer's a girl name, Sammy's a both.
Yep, but that's my conspiracy theory for this
chapter.
chapter.
Was it a boy or girl?
It was a girl. Sammy was a girl.
Yeah, so that's my conspiracy theory for this chapter is that Bran saved Catelyn.
I can get behind that conspiracy theory.
I could get behind that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have no direct evidence.
Do I need a tinfoil hat for that though?
I don't know. Well, maybe because there's no direct evidence.
So just make me a little tinfoil boat.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a tinfoil hat you don't have to wear.
Yeah. I'll just put it over here with my Monopoly set.
Exactly.
There we go. Yeah. Perfect.
A tinfoil Monopoly cowboy hat.
There we go.
Yeah. Or top hat or whatever it was.
Top hat.
Yeah.
I'll take the top hat.
Honestly, I want the cowboy hat. I've got the boots that match.
But yeah, so that's my little thought. That Bran was
I like that thought.
And saved himself. Yep.
I'm okay with that one. I like that one.
Makes total sense to me.
Yep.
See, I don't catch this stuff reading it, even though it is my second time through. I didn't catch it my first time through the books either. This is my second time through this book.
Well, like I said, this is my third time through, and I just thought of this today.
And you didn't say anything.
Of course not. I wanted to blow your mind on the podcast.
He does it on purpose, man.
I do.
I know. We want to do it anywhere else.
It also
dropping injury bombs.
Yeah.
Dropping.
It helps the listeners not be the only ones who are mind blown by this shit.
I know.
Yeah, it's good.
I know.
I like to get a live reaction to my theories. That way you don't have time to mull it over. I get your instant reaction to what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
All right.
It's good that way. I like it.
Oh, I bet you do.
Makes for good listening. All right.
So anyway, then Catelyn passes the fuck out for 4 days.
4 days.
Milk a poppy after she gets a shower.
She gets some milk of the
poppy. Good.
Yep.
Good. Chill the fuck out, Catelyn.
She wakes up.
And everyone's walking on eggshells.
Apparently her mind's clear now.
All she needed was...
Who fucking knew?
Poppy was in sleep.
Who fucking knew? She just needed to take a goddamn nap for 4 days.
All of a sudden, she's... Now, here we go. Now, she's gone from... Can't stop touching Bran for 2 seconds to talk to her own other son.
Yep.
To... We're now going to say that the Lannisters tried to kill Bran, and I'm going to go all the way to King's Landing and leave 3 of my children here with nobody to watch them but Maester Lily.
Maybe she had a premonition while she was sleeping for those 4 days about what happened in that tower.
She doesn't have magical powers. Or do the Tullys have powers now that nobody knows about?
They have possible that they have some ancestry that might have some...
Alright, I'm done. I'm done.
It's not
magic fish, people.
It's not for certain. It's certainly not.
There's no rainbow fish.
It's not like it's not like warging or anything like that. But there's the possibility that there's some ancient blood in the Tullys. I mean, nothing major that seems to play an important part.
Like maybe her pinky nail.
All right, watching the time here, Lady Wyvern. I think it's time for you to head off to work, right?
She's got to go take care of some people.
Yeah, it is. I guess it is.
You got to go play Catelyn Tully to some old people at the nursing home.
But you know what? I'm a little nicer.
You do.
I think I'm a little nicer than
She's
that.
more like old Nan, though. She's a lot nicer. Tells stories.
I do tell stories.
She only snaps at her coworkers, not the children.
Oh, I have to be nice to them too.
Oh.
Well,
all
shit.
right. So I guess we'll take a quick break, and then I and Widow Wolfsbane will be back to finish up the show and our discussion of Catelyn.
All right, have a good night, guys.
Okay, so we are back, and we are Lady Wyvernless.
Unfortunately.
For the rest of the show. So it's just us two. We're going to have to hold it down.
Holding down the fort.
Yep, so we've got Catelyn waking up 4 days later, and she's...
she spoke up, and she's now doing her whole... crazy bitch stuff of, like, you know, my son didn't fall out the window. He got pushed. Like...
Yeah, she made... Apparently, her sleep allowed her to make some serious leaps of logic.
Yes. Yes, they did.
Which is crazy.
Because it went... And the weirdest part is I have it highlighted here that it immediately, like, not even within... Like, she didn't have to find more evidence. She didn't have to, like, look for anything. It immediately went from one of the King's men in the same sentence...
Probably a Lannister.
To a Lannister. Immediately to a Lannister.
We learned some things about the guy. Nobody knows who he is.
Nope.
We learned that he was probably living in the stables.
Oh, and that he had a Valyrian steel blade.
Yeah, we'll get to the blade, because the blade's pretty important.
That is.
But we learned he was living in the stables.
Mm-hmm.
And Catelyn wonders how he was able to live in the stables for so long with nobody noticing, while she spent 2 weeks in Bran's room, ignoring the fact that they had to hire a new stable master.
Yes. Like, literally was just, like, telling Luwin, like, what the fuck do you want?
The fault of why he was able to stay in the stables for so long
is directly her fault.
Directly with Catelyn.
Yep. Directly her problem. Like, she literally... made this happen, more or less.
And the guy got paid, I think, rather well. She says, is that such a low price for my son's life, but, I mean, 90 silver stags seems like a pretty hefty sum.
No, she said that's at least my son's life wasn't so cheap or whatever. What is it?
That's
yeah,
right.
it's good to know my son's life was not sold cheaply.
That's right, so it's a good sum of money that the guy was given.
Which is now theirs, which now goes to the Winterfell.
Obviously they're going to keep that.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck it.
So
and then he had a Valyrian steel knife with a dragon bone hilt.
Yes, which are not easy to come by.
I'm assuming that 90 stags is nowhere near what it would cost to get a Valyrian steel dagger
with a dragon bone hilt. Yeah,
that's
at least a couple thousand.
A pretty penny.
There's some heavy numbers of gold being flung around for that one.
That's going to cost you a few coppers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Which I wonder if maybe that's where she gets the Lannister idea from. Like, was the steel blade before or after her deciding that it was a Lannister? Because that's my idea.
I think she assumes it was a Lannister before that.
I think she does.
No, I believe it's... Let's see. in the stables. This is why you should always be prepared.
Yeah. Write down the order of events before you guys podcast.
For all of the questions. Okay, so she assumes the Lannisters before she...
Yeah, it looks like she's assuming the Lannisters.
Yeah, well before she finds that out, but that would still make sense because Valyrian steel, I mean, not too many families are going to be able to afford to have a piece of Valyrian steel around. Yes. Especially not some shifty-looking guy living in stables. Like, obviously not his dagger.
Yeah, he's I mean, he could have been staying at the, like, if he really wanted to kill somebody, he probably could have stayed at the whorehouse on the outside of town and skirted his way in somehow on, like, the underside of a wagon or something like that.
Yeah.
But nope, stayed in the shit pile of the ball.
In the stables. Ballsy move. But.
Well, it's because he probably knew that we didn't have a horse master, because he went south with Ned. Watched that whole thing happen, and then realized that Catelyn wasn't going to make a new one because she's too busy holding Bran's hand.
Yeah.
That's going to be the new thing for me for, like, the rest of the book. Every time Catelyn can't handle something or can't do something, oh, is Bran holding her hand? That's going to be it.
So they decide to put guards on Bran's door.
Indeed. Yep. One inside the room, one outside the door.
They ask Catelyn how many, and she says, talk to Rob.
Yeah.
Rob's the new master of Winterfell.
Yeah. She's like, listen,
Ned's gone, so.
She courteously bowed her head down in the fact of like, all right, I already fucked up you guys, so Rob's already been doing better than me.
Yeah, exactly. So we get that, and then she's making her leap to, it's obviously the Lannisters or somebody related to the king. She gets Rob to figure out, because Rob's like, why would anybody want to kill Bran?
Yeah.
He's a helpless little boy. And then he gets it, which, the way she's laying it out, you can't help but get it, of course.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to kill Bran because they're afraid he knows something.
Exactly. She's like, oh, this can't get out of this room. Yeah. Like, oh my goodness. It'll kill, like, we'll all die for this. It's conspiracy and treason.
Yep. So, how she jumps to somehow, and first of all, how did she hear that Jaime Lannister... Because as far as I know, she's been shut in a room by herself with Bran, who's unconscious, for 14 days at least. And then passed out for another 4 days.
Yep.
How does she know that Jaime Lannister didn't go on the hunt?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, what was she doing?
And how does she
and what was she doing that day?
And how does she jump immediately from that to he threw Bran out a window?
Yeah. Just because he didn't go on the hunt. He's not a hunter. Like, he's not one of the guys. Like,
we know that we know that Jaime threw him out of the tower.
Yes, we do.
Is she deducing that Jaime did that, or is she just saying, look, Lysa told me that the Queen and Jaime tried, or are the ones who killed Jon Arryn.
Yeah.
We don't like the Lannisters. They're pieces of shit. What if I can just come up with a plausible theory that it was the Lannisters? And then we just kind of go with that.
I think she's just looking for that circumstantial evidence.
That's
that,
what I'm saying.
The court's like, oh, well, it's all circumstantial, but, I mean, your guys' theory is pretty solid, so I guess we'll book them.
Yeah, it's like a great story, Catelyn, but you have any evidence whatsoever?
No.
None.
All she's got is he said, she said.
She didn't even have that. All she knows is that Jaime didn't go hunting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the he said, she said.
It's not even he said, she said. That's just, all she has is some completely unrelated fact.
She's got that grapevine rumor.
But it's not even a rumor. It's completely unrelated.
Yeah.
Like,
she doesn't even know he didn't actually go.
Bran either fell out of a window or got thrown out of a window. And Jaime didn't go hunting. And then somehow in her mind, she's like, well, obviously Jaime threw her out the fucking window.
Exactly.
I mean, this is obviously what happened. Well, no doubt about it.
My sister told me that a Lannister conspired to kill her husband. Like, she wasn't even... She said that my sister Lysa believes the Lannisters murdered her husband, Jon, or, like, Lord Arryn. So, right, obviously
Lysa
it has
to be... no idea why.
Yeah. Lysa's got no idea why. She doesn't know who. She just says it might be the Lannisters.
She says she thinks it's the Queen.
Yeah.
Which isn't Jaime.
No.
But Catelyn doesn't think that Cersei threw Bran out the window. She thinks Jaime did it.
Yeah.
Where is she coming up with this?
She's just fucking pulling it out of her ass.
Like, she literally is just pulling nonsense out of her ass this entire time.
Yeah. Yep.
And dragging poor Sir Roderick all the way down to King's Landing with her.
For this shit.
For this nonsense that she has zero evidence for.
For her half-crocked plan.
Yeah, like, and like, Sir Roderick doesn't like to take boats.
Yeah.
So, naturally, they take a boat. Because she's going to take a boat.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't like to.
He doesn't like to, and she just doesn't want to ride all that way and get chafed.
Yeah, so they're going to take a boat from White Harbor.
Yep.
Through the Bight. So fantastic. So poor Sir Roderick.
Poor Sir Roderick is going to have some rough seas.
Which also means that you've got Catelyn and Sir Roderick, which are like the two adults at Winterfell.
Yes.
Gone.
The only two adults left.
Yeah, like, I mean, you've got, like, the guard, but they're all, like, low-level people, and you've got Maester Lewin, but I don't trust Maester Lewin.
He's not even the Winterfell Maester. He's fucking...
Well, he's the Winterfell Maester now.
He is now, but
he's a shifty little fucker.
Yeah! Fucking making Ned go south.
So, and she's taken, like, the two responsible adults, the Castellan and herself, and just heading on down south, leaving Robb in charge with frickin' Theon Greyjoy whispering in his fucking ear.
I feel bad for Robb at this point, too, because 3 days ago, Robb finally was like, all right, we're going to sit down, we're going to get the new Master at Arms, we're going to get the new Horse Master.
They did, because they've got a new Horse Master, and they've got a new...
And Roderick's
head
the new
of the guard.
Yeah, Roderick's the new head of the guard, or the new Arm Master, isn't he?
He's been the Arms Master there forever.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, they finally just got like a new guy in the position, and then they're all of a sudden like, okay, let's just take this guy too. So
well,
who else
what they're doing is they've got Sir Roderick, but now he's going to be gone.
Yeah.
So now you've just replaced all the people who were really good at their jobs. They all went south with Ned.
Yes.
So you replaced them with like the backup team, the second stringers.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now you're taking the Castellan of the entire place, the Master at Arms.
Yeah.
And you're taking him down to King's Landing on like a multiple-month journey.
For a wild goose chase.
Leaving a 14-year-old.
A 19-year-old who's a ward.
A 19-year-old crazy motherfucking person who kicks people's beheaded heads around.
For sport.
For sport and for laughs.
Yep.
And a crotchety old maester.
And a 3-year-old.
And a 3-year-old running around with an untrained direwolf.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking insane little kid.
Exactly. Because he hasn't had a mom for 2 weeks.
And that's who's in charge of Winterfell.
Like, Winterfell's just its own sitcom right now.
Like, no wonder the fucking dead kings of winter in the crypts are pissed off.
Yeah.
All this fucking... It's like Winterfell's like a comedy of fucking errors at this point.
It is. Winterfell is now a new season or a new episode of It's Always Sunny.
It's not... It's just a joke. I mean, it's...
Catelyn's just ruined everything.
Yeah, like...
She's ruined everything. For 8 days, she's let Winterfell just like...
The entire downfall of the Stark family, I believe... It can all be traced directly to Catelyn.
Yes.
You've got Catelyn who decides that Jon Snow has to go to the Wall.
Yep.
Instead of staying around and being Robb's advisor.
Yeah, and helping Robb.
With
decisions.
Run everything.
Yep.
You've got Catelyn who decides that Ned has to go to King's Landing.
Yep.
Even though then she begs him not to go after she browbeats him into going.
Yes. She's like, no, you have to go. Yeah. And then when he's like, all right, fine, I have to go. She's like, no, you don't. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't. Why are you going?
I'm pretty sure that's one of the definitions of gaslighting.
Yeah, exactly. And then later on, the only reason Ned gets fucking beheaded, the whole thing with the Lannisters even starts, is because she fucking kidnaps goddamn Tyrion Lannister on the fucking road.
Yes. Kidnaps Tyrion Lannister and then is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you because you killed my son, even though we have no proof.
The entire downfall of the Starks is all because Ned Stark had to marry Catelyn Tully.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, that's where all of their problems begin and end.
Like, if he literally could have just went up there and been like, nah, sorry, bitches, I'm married to a Shara Dane already, none of this would have ever happened. I know. I'm letting you have a moment of glory here.
I'm liking it. All right. There we go.
Because, I mean, marrying anybody's got to be better than marrying Catelyn. Seriously. And marrying a Shara Dane, if he was already in love with her, then, I mean, I gotta let Ned have a little spark of someone's happiness right there.
Ned deserves...
Not Catelyn Tully.
Not Catelyn Tully. Ned's a good guy. He deserves not Catelyn Tully.
I mean, I did call Ned a shifty bastard in one of the episodes previous to this, but...
He's not a shifty bastard. He's dumb.
He's kind of dumb.
Not good at the Game of Thrones at all.
No. He thinks everyone's so honor-bound like he is.
He thinks that honor plays a part for everybody. And I think to an extent he is right, except for, like, the two people that he misjudges.
Yes. Yeah, I would think that.
He misjudges Cersei, thinking that she'll do the honorable thing and run away with her kids to save their lives.
Yep.
And he misjudges Littlefinger. And you can't even blame Littlefinger for that one.
Littlefinger literally says, like, don't trust me.
Do not trust me.
He says literally...
And then Ned's like, oh, well, great, I trust you.
Yeah, he was like, don't trust me, not trust... And then the one time Ned's like, all right, well, I don't trust you. And he's like, that's the smartest thing you've done since you've got here.
Yes, and then Ned trusts him.
And then Ned's like, oh, well, I did something right, and he praised me, so now that means that I have to trust him.
Right! It's like,
no, Ned, why did you lose that suspicion? What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. So.
You're suspicious enough to think that the old Kings of Winter are roaming around your castle because the swords have, like, died off of their laps and, like, rusted away.
Oh, I think the old Kings of Winter are roaming around the castle, too.
Yeah, but he's suspicious enough to think that. But he's not suspicious enough to stay curious about fucking Littlefinger being a douche.
Yeah, I don't get it. Especially after Littlefinger admits that the knife was his.
Yeah. Oh, that used to be mine. I lost it in a bet to Tyrion Lannister.
Yeah, which we all know is bullshit. And Ned should know is bullshit.
He should know.
But we're ahead of ourselves on Ned's story. But
poor Ned.
Catelyn Tully just completely fucking things up. She's leaving Winterfell. She's leaving Robb in charge with nobody really to help him. You've got Maester Lewin, fine. He's Maester Lewin.
He's a smart guy, but he doesn't run things.
He makes copies of all the ravens.
Yeah.
And, he knows a bunch of shit. So, I mean, great, whatever. You've got your household guard. I mean, yes, that's true, but the true leader of the household guard went south with Ned.
Yep.
So you've got, like, your second stringer in charge now.
Like, you've literally got, like, a bunch of second no-Joes.
Yeah.
Who've never done this before. Yeah. Like, they've always been the second-hand guy. And now they all have to just take care of Winterfell together.
And now Catelyn's taking the Master at Arms.
Yep.
Like, I mean, essentially, like, if you look at who would be running Winterfell, it would be Ned, followed. I would assume that Sir Roderick is probably more like Ned's second in command.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to speak with the power of...
He's like a general.
But yeah,
like in the small time.
Yeah, he's like the commander of everybody at the castle who's in some way related to its defense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like keeping standing. And so Catelyn's just going to take him like...
Oh, we're just going to take this guy. It's fine.
Take Theon.
Right?
Like...
Get rid of Theon. Theon doesn't need to be there.
You're going to King's Landing. You're going to meet with some shifty people.
You literally only need someone with you that can wield a sword.
Yeah.
And Theon's 19. He's been like fucking sword fighting for how long now?
Yeah, Sir Roderick's great, but remember, Sir Roderick's getting old.
Yeah.
And you're taking.
Well, Theon's also super cocky, so Theon would probably like fight everybody on the way there.
That's fine.
So there's that, but I think he'd call too much attention to them. She wants to get there as fast and as stealthily as possible.
Does she though?
I don't know.
Because I
don't know what Catelyn wants.
Littlefinger comes knocking like the same evening she arrives.
That's because Littlefinger's just smarter than her.
Is it, or is Littlefinger expecting her?
I mean, he could be. Maybe she sends him a raven. Maybe she puts like a little raven being banged by a little mockingbird that he did. What's his thing? The mockingbird?
Mockingbird.
Yeah, so it's just a fish and a mockingbird kind of getting it on. It's like the little letter stamp that she put on the outside of it to like let him know that it's for him.
All right, so we've got Maester Lewin slipping Catelyn dick pics. And then she's sending Littlefinger graphic mockingbird and fish stamps on the outside of raven letters. Okay.
So everyone can see it and not know what it means, but everyone knows what it means.
Okay, perfect. All right. I just, my mind wonders why does she have to get there before Ned? Like, if all she has to do is speak to Ned and tell Ned what's going on.
Yeah, I'm going to look at that part. I want to see that.
The smartest thing to do, in my mind, right? Okay. So she needs to talk to Ned and warn him about how dangerous things are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she's opted to go ahead of Ned and wait until they get basically into the Lion's Den.
Yeah.
Into King's Landing before warning him. Instead of trying to catch up with him on the King's Road, which they could do because two people will move a hell of a lot faster than the entire King's entourage.
Yeah, and they're only 8 days away out of like a month and a half or 2 month journey.
Right, exactly. So they could easily catch up with the King's party.
in like 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, and she could, find, Ned's area of the camp and stealthily move in and talk to him, or send Sir Roderick and people probably wouldn't even recognize him.
Yeah, yeah.
And he could just wander into Ned's tent and be like, my lord, me please.
Hey, sir. Hey. Wink, nudge, nudge.
And then, he's not trapped in King's Landing when you tell him. He's prepared. He's in the open. They can run away.
They can get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
they could be
he could
be like, hey, Robert, let's go for a hard ride.
Yeah,
and Robert
take Robert on one of their morning rides and tell him what Catelyn just told him. I mean...
And then be like, hey, your crazy bitch wife that you don't like tried to murder my son.
Yeah, why is she doing it the dumb way and going and waiting in King's Landing?
Because she's a fish.
For him.
She's a goldfish.
Is it that, or is she in cahoots with Littlefinger about something?
I mean, I would have to say it could be a little bit of both. I honestly think she's like Cersei. She just thinks she's smarter than everybody.
I don't think she does, though. I don't get her thinking that from her chapters.
I think she
like Cersei, you can it's very clear.
Yeah, Cersei's just, I'm smarter than everybody.
Yeah, I don't get that from Catelyn.
I think Catelyn thinks she's being smarter than them, and at this point is just being completely stupid.
Because I go back to that letter that she supposedly got from Lysa that was supposedly in a language that nobody else could read, that supposedly was Lysa telling her that Cersei killed Jon Arryn.
Yeah.
But then, even though it was a letter that nobody else could possibly read, she had to burn it before showing it to anybody else.
Yeah.
And now...
Because she thinks...
she has to magically ride ahead of Ned and get to King's Landing and hang out there for a couple of weeks before Ned even gets there with Littlefinger in his brothel in order to talk to Ned, when the smarter thing would have been to just catch up with Ned, have Sir Roderick wander into camp, who nobody's going to fucking recognize.
They'd be like, oh, wait, I think I've seen that guy before. But they were all there at the same time.
It's some outrider. It's just one of the free riders that came along with us, whatever.
Yeah.
Or he could shave his fucking beard off like she does anyway.
Yeah, get rid of those fucking mutton chops.
And then nobody would fucking recognize him. He could get Ned to go for a walk. And, who happens to be there on the walk? Catelyn does. And
Catelyn put her some tree somewhere.
And then she can do her thing. And
you're giving her too much credit.
That's right, but I mean... If she's thinking it through as to how to do it, that's the best way to do it.
But then we wouldn't have this whole book.
Right. Well, I mean...
We'd be missing 5 chapters.
You still could, but...
We'd be missing 8 to 12 chapters, I think.
Yes, I get that Catelyn's a bumbling idiot. Yes, I get that she's a vindictive bitch.
Yep.
But I wonder if she's
it very well may be her way to be like, I can go see Littlefinger. It probably is. It probably is her way to be
I don't even know if it's just to go see Littlefinger. I mean...
I think it's just her way to get the fuck out of the north.
Don't go back to the weather.
I'm going back to the weather. She doesn't want to be cold. She's going to King's Landing to be warm.
I wonder if she's conspiring to get Ned killed.
I don't know if she would do that. She was just trying a couple chapters ago. She's just trying to have another one of his kids.
Everything she does lead. Yeah, but then she got that message. What was really in that message? Was it really what she said?
No one knows.
No one knows.
Because it was in a language only she knows.
Right, and it had to be burned immediately even though nobody else could read it.
Yeah. Because she's a fucking idiot.
Was it really that her sister saying that Cersei had killed Jon Arryn?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think it was her saying, hey, make some excuse so you can come down to King's Landing.
I don't even think it was from fucking Lysa.
I don't fucking know.
I think it was from Littlefinger.
I don't fucking know. Oh my god, that's too much.
Or that Littlefinger had Lysa send it.
Well, I mean, I would think that first. I would think that Littlefinger...
I don't even know if Lysa
What if Littlefinger knows it too? What if Littlefinger... Because he grew up with the two of them. What if he knows the language too?
That's what I'm saying. So what if he wrote a message to her?
Yeah, because he's a sneaky bastard.
Right, and she wouldn't say, well, me and Lysa and Littlefinger know how to read this. She would just say, well, me and Lysa are the only ones who know how to read. Because she's a shifty bitch.
She is a shifty bitch. So maybe Littlefinger does know how to say it. And maybe she also just doesn't think that Littlefinger would either remember or that he ever knew.
Or what if she knows it's Littlefinger
and wants to go get boinged?
And is in cahoots with Littlefinger to get rid of Ned. So that way her son
can be the Lord of Winterfell.
Because the message said from Littlefinger, hey, got a little info for you, by the way. Jon there, actually a true-born Stark, Ned was banging a Shara Dane. They were married. I don't know if you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So Robbie there, not in line to be the King of Winterfell, the Lord of Winterfell anymore. And then she's like, well, fuck this. I got to win a victory. I have to win a victory for my children.
Oh, my God. We're back to that one now.
I have to win a victory for my children.
Oh, my God, guys. All right. And we've looped back 4 chapters.
but it's just her 2 chapters tying together.
Yeah.
That's one POV straight to the next.
Oh, my God. I don't know. I can't go with that one because it's just... I don't think she's that smart. I think she's that ambitious.
She might not be. Exactly. She may not be that smart. Littlefinger is.
Yeah. But, I mean, we don't know anything about them being in contact because she always like, oh, it's been so long since I've been...
Of course we don't know anything about them being in contact, but that's because we get very limited POV chapters from Catelyn.
Yeah.
We don't know what she's doing outside of the fucking time that we see her.
This POV chapter things fuck with my brain. Because
exactly,
it's just,
that third-person limited narrator kills you because so much happens off the page.
So much happens with every other fucking person. This is why, like, the third, like, not even, like second-person limited omniscient, because it's just everything.
I like omniscient.
Like, it's just everything.
Right. This is where that third-person limited kills you.
Yes, because there's just too much stuff happening. Because George, what the fuck?
Because at any given time, the narrator only knows what is in the mind of the person having the POV. Anything else beyond that, or any time beyond that time when they're on page, we get no insight into what they're doing or what they're thinking.
I think this show would be so much more interesting if it was written like this. Like, if the camera was literally behind one person for the entire scene.
So it's like Call of Duty.
Yeah. So it's like right over their shoulder the entire scene, so that way you only ever see all of these people from this person's point of view.
Yeah.
And you only, like, you don't, like, if Ned were to walk over there, but you're on Catelyn, you don't know what the fuck Ned just said to that guy over there. You're just sitting there staring at his mouth like, what the fuck's he saying right now?
Yeah. Yep. But
Jesus Christ.
I wonder what Catelyn's up to.
She's a sneaky bitch.
She has to win that victory for her kids. And that was getting Jon out of Winterfell.
Yep.
I wonder if that letter was something about Jon. Because only then, right, so she's had 14 years with Jon.
Well, then where would she get any of the information about Aaron, like Jon Arryn and stuff like that, too?
Maybe that was in there
Maybe, as it might have been both.
Because, spoiler alert, Littlefinger was involved in that.
In the letter? Oh, well, yeah.
In killing Jon Arryn. Him and Lysa.
Yep.
Were involved in that. So Littlefinger would also know about that. So, could have both pieces of information in it. Because for 14 years, she dealt with Jon. Mm-hmm. And then she gets that letter, and all of a sudden, she has to get rid of Jon.
Right now.
Because she has to win a victory for her children's sake.
Yep.
So
because she knows Ned's probably going to die.
That letter had something about Jon in it.
Yeah.
It had to, because her mindset about Jon switches from, I hate having him around, to he needs to go.
Yeah.
And
like right this second.
Being at the wall is the perfect thing because then he can never inherit anything.
Yep.
Doesn't matter who he is, he can't inherit shit.
Can't take anything from anybody. He can't take anything from her children.
That means her children are guaranteed the land, the windfall that they're supposed to get in her mind.
Yeah, because if the one legitimate child can't inherit anything, all the bastards are next.
Right. Well, they just won't be considered bastards ever because it doesn't matter. The truth about Jon should never come out because he can't inherit anything, so what would it matter? So, I don't
know.
I know, I can see you, but I can see I see cracks forming in your mind over there.
In my outer shell of this isn't real.
I do. I can see you kind of warming up to the Catelyn's up to some sneaky shit here.
Catelyn's a sneaky bitch. I don't trust her. I don't like her.
I don't trust her either.
I don't like her at all.
And then you gotta think about what is she, because after she leaves King's Landing, Ned tells her to do a whole bunch of things that they have to do to get ready for war.
Yeah.
And she just ignores it completely and goes and does the one thing that's sure to get fucking Ned killed.
Oh my god. Like, and of all Lannisters, why would you pick the one Lannister that obviously the rest of the family doesn't care about?
Yeah, it's Tyrion.
Yeah.
Like, the only one who would... Jaime cares about Tyrion. And the only reason Tywin would care about Tyrion is the fact that if he doesn't, it makes him look weak.
Yeah, it makes him look weak that he doesn't give a shit about his family.
Right, that he can't protect his own son.
Yeah.
So,
But he just...
Yeah. So,
I mean, he wouldn't care. Like, he'd be like, oh, you killed Tyrion? Fine, you just did me a favor. I wanted to kill him, 30 years ago, but I couldn't.
But she's up to something. She's definitely up to something, and I wonder maybe Lady Stoneheart's going to tell us. That'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
We get a Lady Stoneheart POV. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be fucking amazing. But will she even have a thought process, though?
We don't know.
I don't think she'd have a thought process.
Beric Dondarrion had a thought process.
Did he?
Yeah.
But he was also brought back much sooner after death.
But that was his physical body. I mean, he was still losing things mentally, but his physical body was just in better shape.
Yeah.
I almost imagine that her mind is in just as good a shape as his, but her physical body is just to the point where she can't speak because she got her throat slit. So he's able to talk, and so we know what he's able to say and what he's thinking because he can tell us.
Didn't it take a lot longer though for her to come back though than it did for him?
No, he gave her the kiss of life, and she came back. She was in the river for 3 days.
Yeah, but see, so she was dead for 3 days before she came back, whereas he was cut down in battle and he was brought back not long after. It was within 24 hours.
Well, yeah, but remember, Jon Snow's going to come back after what I would assume would be
a week,
at least a week, if not more.
Yeah,
in the books.
He's also at the wall where it's frozen.
He comes back. Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is
preservation.
That's what I'm saying is the spirit, which is the part that would hold the memories and things like that.
Okay.
Is doesn't degrade as fast. It's still there, regardless of how long she's been around. Her spirit's still in the underworld, ready to come back. It's the physical body.
Yeah, she's doesn't have the ability.
Yeah, she can't speak.
She'd be like a person with a stone where she'd have to plug up her hole, but it's the whole, whole cross section.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be kind of interesting to get a Lady Stoneheart POV and get some thoughts, and we learn some things about Lady Catelyn that we don't know.
That'd be kind of nice. Because maybe how much she hated Ned her entire life.
Some just things that we think about, because she obviously loves Ned, but also to a point doesn't seem to be able to stand him because she relates him to the North, and
I think she loves Ned because it's the father of her children. That's literally it.
Yeah, she does say that they grew to have a loving relationship. So
because
for what it's worth.
I feel like they grew to have a loving relationship because it's easier to be amicable with someone that you don't like than it is to have to fight with them every single day and make yourself more miserable.
Yeah, so I just think that she's up to some shady shit.
I think she is too.
So we'll see if we can find any other evidence that brings more of that to light. But I don't know. I don't know, other than some kind of shadiness. I don't know why she's circling around to King's Landing.
The long way.
Waiting for the Starks to get into the Lion's Den before warning the Starks about entering the Lion's Den.
Especially since it's her two daughters.
Any fucking sense.
Yeah, especially since it's her two daughters. She's not even oh, well, fuck Ned, but at least I can get my two daughters out of there beforehand.
At least, let me
my beautiful Sansa, who's perfect and pure and smart and a perfect lady.
But remember, she let go of them in her heart.
Ugh.
Almost immediately after Ned said he was taking them.
She was like, oh, I get to keep Bran, fuck all you guys.
She let go of them in her heart.
Oh my god, she's a terrible person.
So, yeah.
I can't with her.
So that's my thoughts on this Catelyn chapter. I think there's some shadiness.
I think everything about her
definitely
shady.
More Tullyness. She's basically as useless as Edmure.
Literally, and as soon as she wakes up, I will show them how strong a Tully can be. Fuck you and you're being a Tully. You're not a Tully, you're a Stark. You married a Stark. Fucking be a Stark. What the shit?
She's not a Stark.
She's not a Stark.
No.
She will never be a Stark. This winter,
she'll never be a Stark.
I'm telling you, it's because it's too cold for her to handle it.
You and the weather.
I love talking about the weather.
Yeah, that's what the note really was. It was winter is coming, and she's like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
She's like, all right, guys, let's make our way to Dorne. I'll meet you guys at King's Landing.
You mean this hasn't been winter the whole time?
Yeah.
What do you mean winter is coming?
What do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. It is winter. There's snow right now. Oh my god, fucking Catelyn Tully.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts on the Catelynness, the Tullyness of this whole situation. I think Catelyn's up to something. I think that there was more to that letter that we got in Catelyn's last POV chapter. Yeah. I think that there's more to her desire to circle around and get to King's Landing before Ned does.
I'm gonna have to look for some evidence with that because I don't want to see evidence where there's not evidence, but I want to see what's there that can be extrapolated from what's written because there's no reason why she needs to be there.
Just like there's no evidence for Bran controlling Summer.
Yeah, but it makes sense.
The invader, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I think that there's something going on.
We'll get there. We'll get there. And then we shall see what we shall see.
Yep. All right. Do you have anything else that we need to go over?
I don't. That was everything that I have over here.
All right. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, we don't get a whole heck of a lot more.
I mean, next we get to do our next least favorite character, Sansa.
Our first
Sansa chapter. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of people as useless as Edmure Tully.
Sansa Stark.
No, Sansa Tully.
Sansa Tully. Sansa Snow.
Later on, Sansa Lannister.
She wouldn't be Sansa Tully. She'd be Sansa Snow.
Sansa Snow. I like the sound of that. Sansa
Actually, because it does sound kind of cool. Yep. Maybe I'll get a husky and name it Sansa Snow.
Oh, boy. All right. So, yeah, we covered everything. We leave off with Sir Roderick and Catelyn about to head down south on a boat, especially since Sir Roderick doesn't like to take boats.
Yep. That's the only reason why she's doing it. She's doing it to spite him.
Right, because they could still beat the King's party down to King's Landing by taking the road.
Yeah.
I think partially it has to do with her hands. Her hands were ripped apart.
Yeah, she isn't grip brains that way.
Yeah.
She'd have to use one hand and she'd have to probably fashion something to hold it for her.
Exactly. So
she'd have to have Tyrion Lannister fashion her something to hold it for her.
But yeah, so I guess that we will let's come up with a name for this chapter. I want to start naming the chapters because George doesn't name them for us, and I think there's some funny names we could come up with for these chapters.
We can name this one, so it'd be like CSI, but it'll be Catelyn Investigation. What is it? What is CSI?
Crime Scene Investigation.
Yeah, so Catelyn Scene Investigation.
Or Catelyn PI.
Yeah, I think...
Instead of Magnum PI.
Yeah, I think it should be Catelyn PI. Catelyn PI, Bran from the Window.
What about It's a Catspiracy?
Ooh, I like It's a Catspiracy. It's a good one. It's a Catspiracy.
All right, so we're down to Catelyn PI or Catspiracy. Which one should we go with?
We should text Lady Wyvern and see which one she likes better. We'll let her have some input in this. I'll message her.
Okay, yeah, you want to message?
I'll message her. Be like, hey, do you like Catspiracy or Catelyn PI?
Okay, so Lady Wyvern has weighed in by text message. She also likes Catspiracy.
Yep, so we're going with Catspiracy today.
So from now on, Game of Thrones chapter Catelyn 3 shall be known throughout the realms as the Catspiracy. I love it.
And if you guys have any chapters that you think would have a great title to them,
or how about just send us your ideas for a title for this chapter?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or any chapters in the future. You're like, oh, well, this brand chapter about this thing. Then they can just be like, hey, 5 chapters from now, there's this awesome fucking chapter about Jon Snow. You should call it the Snow Patrol.
Snow Patrol.
So
what a shitty B-movie Snow Patrol was.
I know, right? But we could totally do that. So if you guys want to have chances to have your titles, and we'll give credit where credit is due.
We might vote for it, we might not.
Yeah, we might vote for it. We might bring it up and say, you had a great idea here, but we just weren't feeling it.
Yeah.
So, all I care. But yeah, we're totally down for that. So go ahead and, send us some messages.
Your titles.
Yeah, send it to us on Instagram too, for all I care.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Mouthy doesn't hate me anymore.
Sir Mouthy?
Hi.
Hi, buddy.
Hi. Oh, he doesn't hate me.
I mean, he did hide from you all evening.
He did, but now he's out walking around, and he's, of his own accord, rubbing on my fingers.
True.
I'm not even forcing this upon him right now. He's just doing it.
No, not this time you're not.
Yeah, I did it the last 4 times, though. Hi, bud.
All right, so I guess that's going to bring our coverage of the Catspiracy to a close. Like we said, next time we are going to jump into Sansa Chapter 1. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Great. I have not read it yet. It's going to be a fucking trial to get through, I'm sure.
Our only hope is that it's 2 pages long. She doesn't know how to say
I don't even know if I can handle 2 pages long.
The princess so cute.
With that one time I was in college and I had to write something that was 2 pages long, but 2 pages was literally onto the second page, but only one sentence or so. That's the 2 pages I can handle.
With 4-inch margins.
Yeah, the 4-inch margins with the 18 font.
Yeah, in Courier New.
Yeah, exactly.
Double spaced.
That's the kind of thing that I need.
Yeah,
I need that.
Something tells me you're not getting that from George.
It's because he hates us.
I think we're in for a slog.
Oh.
Sansa 1 next chapter.
I'm going to be dragging my feet on this one.
So let's be prepared. I mean, there should be plenty to talk about, obviously, because Sansa's ridiculous.
And she's got plenty of chick shit she's got to whine about.
Yeah, so should at least make for interesting podcasting.
Yeah, I think it will, especially if that's just making fun of her.
Probably not interested in reading.
No.
We'll see.
No.
So until then, we will catch you guys next time. And also, in case you missed the announcement, just be on the lookout for our new Thursday episodes.
Yeah.
So we get 2 episodes a week starting at the beginning of January. So look for new episodes Monday morning and Friday morning. And we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
To start and end your week with us, yo.
Word.
All right. See ya.
Bye.